Alright, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be looking at G2 versus XL. Let's do a little rundown. I didn't do a rundown on the day of. I was on the analyst desk, and also I took a train the same night. So basically I was done with PGL and so forth, and then the game was over 11, and then I took a train 30 minutes later. I took the night train home because I missed my girlfriend. So I just peaced out home. But nevertheless, let's talk about the G2 XL games. They were very interesting. Some of the games were interesting. I think it will also provide us a lot of important context for the next best of fives to come. The prediction video will be out tomorrow. Just so you know, LEC is going to actually start on Friday this time around because they want to run the finals on Sunday. All in all, G2 versus XL, let's look at the game. So we have Rumble ban. This is something that G2 perma banned against XL. Makes sense, down the Rumble. Probably the best one we saw in the LEC, Rumble ban. Followed by Ivan ban, I think also. Currently, we only see G2 being a good Ivan team. Jankos played it too, but I didn't think it was good at all. I could see maybe Razork play it, but other than that, Ivan is really OP. I don't think there's a lot of good answers. I think all of the champions that are good answers into Ivan are just not good champions right now in the context of the whole meta. G2 follow up with banning Rakan, which is usually just denies Rakan, it is what it is. Rakan gets banned, Draven, and then Poppy LB. Poppy to just give more value to the Rel. Alright, Rel, and then Maokai Jace. I think this was a big problem for this series. I think XL could even be greedier by locking in Jace and Kai'Sa if they wanted to, but I think then enemy would go Maokai Kalista, and maybe this is too bad, right? So there's that. So they just go Maokai Jace. And I think this is what they wanted to try, right? They wanted to invite Kai'Sa, because I think the read on G2, for most, if you watch G2's games, especially against Koi, the Kai'Sa was completely ignored, and then Kalista was picked over it. So I think these teams reached the conclusion that Kalista is decent in lane against Kai'Sa, right? So G2 follow up by picking Kai'Sa Trundle, and then Kalista is picked on 3. So already now, right, they have the Maokai Jace poke composition with Kalista, being the kind of, the guard and the meat grinder for Jace in the poke. I think this is a solid basis, right? Kai'Sa, very strong on the patch. You already know that Kalista is going to have a better matchup into Kai'Sa. And also, Rel reveals her role already, right? So Rel and Trundle are already locked in, so you already know for sure Rel is going to go support. GP, Jax get banned, which is surprising. I guess GP, Jax, I'm not so sure what the plan is here. They're just banning ADs. I feel like you're just setting up Renekton for success. I think that these bans are very troll. I don't know if the idea here was to bait the Renekton and then to send Jace top into Renekton. Maybe this was planned, although Amna Jace is something that they've played in the past, but I thought it was weird, right? I think this is rather strange. It's like if you ban these, usually you would look for Renekton on 4 yourself, and then you just play the game with Jace blind on mid, but they keep the Jace flex here, pick Alistar, and then they just improved Renekton here by banning Jax and GP in my mind. G2 went for Braum ban, Renata Glask ban. These are some combos, and they also have the opinion that Braum is OP because of Emax, which I agree with. And then Alistar gets picked, Kalista, Alistar, also a very known combo. Alistar is pretty decent into Kai'Sa, and Alistar is great into Rel. Alistar also doesn't get into too much trouble against Trundle, right? Because inherently Alistar's tankiness comes from his ult, and that's not something that Trundle can steal. Renekton and Nico get locked in, and Nico was such a crucial pick for G2 because I think Nico is still severely underrated. I see whenever this champion is picked, for example today Agao picked it, it looked super good. I think if you need pressure in the early game and you want to fight together with your jungler and you want to pressure, Nico still fits that bill. There's a school of champions that definitely fall off as the game progresses, but they are very good at supplying your team with a threat. So basically you have these champions like Annie, Nico, Ahri. They're very good at playing together with AD junglers, very good at forcing at first Drake, second Drake, but usually want to curve out and make sure that you finish the game on 2 core, because on 3 core usually you begin to fall off, and this is where things get trickier for you unless you're very far ahead, right? So yeah, Nico gets picked and Renekton, and this is where they reveal their hand. Jace goes into top against Renekton and Azir. I kind of like this, right? Because enemy is showing Trundle, And I thought that inherently, right, if you send Jason to Rennek, you don't have to pick a tank top, which would be weak against Trundle. Usually teams would just go, for example, Ornn here and just play the game. Jace top comes with... There's not a lot of Jace top being played because it comes with a lot of risk. If you die once, you screw up once, you're going to regret it for the rest of the game, so super, super tough. Right? But all in all, Kalista, Jace, I think in terms of what extra cooked up here, I thought it was pretty decent. You know, they have Bowser into Nico, which should be like fine in most cases. I think this was an idea, right? They tried to throw the enemy off and they picked Kalista and they made sure they have a stronger matchup bot, which I think is crucial against G2 because I think Mickey is a player, Mickey and Caps are two players that convert leads better than anyone else in their position. Right? They are so good. Like if Mickey has control of a bot, he makes the whole map feel it. The same way when Caps has advantages, he makes the whole map feel it. Let's take this game one as an example. So, in all honesty, I think that the start was pretty damn good for XL. They got the sums out of enemy bot here. They are starting with Maokai on Raptors. And Maokai needs to make sure that he's secure against Trundle. You know, already these conditions here, the fact that Mickey has no flash, Hansama has no flash is a very, very good start. They've also warded for the potential level 2 gank. And I think if they played around this window, I think they would be able to capitalize so much better. The issue is here is the timing of this level 2 gank. Like this is a very well-known level 2 gank timer. And if they don't hit this gank, honestly, G2's bot lane is so fucked. They are unbelievably screwed. They are in big trouble here. The gank lands, Limit of course use flash for the enemy flashes. They get to push in all the way and Kaiser gets to recall to get the dagger. And they get the bounce and the wave pushes towards them and they'll be able to catch that. Mickey opens through mid, but he's only level 1, but it doesn't matter. He doesn't have to do anything on bot because they cannot contest the Kalista Alistar on the slow push out. And Yike needs to farm his camps. Habedagi here is super greedy, like he's trying to make the crash happen, but it just doesn't seem to happen. With the E-flash into kill, I think Habedagi should be able to react to that, but this was a straight up disaster. Generally speaking, of course, him roaming at this point in time without boots is just too unimpactful. There was a trade that happened before this, here. They would have lethal here if it wasn't for this minion here that just protected Limit from the W. Keep in mind that the W just applies so many plasma stacks that it would do an abundance of damage here and they would just look for lethal, commit all the way, and it would have been juicy. Very juicy. This Q, very nicely placed here from Mickey. He's getting the double Q. Also here, like, pay attention to how Mickey holds his Q, because he understands the pacing of the Kalista autos. You see, he just Q'd wherever he knew Kalista would land off of the auto bounce. Was super, super nice. Trying to understand here, Patrick, when I'm rewatching it. Let's see when he actually rends. Oh my god. Oh my god. He wanted to reset the rend with the minion, but the minion died. Oh my god. That is so fucking unlucky, actually. Wow. The minion died. Look, guys. Look. He autos this range. And now he's playing on the reset. But now he rendered. And the minion was dead to the minion auto. So that's why he doesn't have red. What the fuck? He doesn't rend again. Where's the rend? What is the second rend? He doesn't get the E reset. He doesn't rend. E doesn't do damage to minions, guys. Does E do damage to minions? Am I crazy? How is it bad play, Kanaton? They win the game. they kill 2v2. How is it bad play? Holy. So fucking Alistair E kills it. Jesus Christ. That is so fucking funny. No, there's a lot of things that could be played better here. Like Hansama after, like, Hansama can also kite, like they already did finish the trade because Limit is out of position. Like they could just do short trade, right? And they could be done. They could be done already now. You know, and kite back. And then if they want to combo Mickey, they lose. And then here as well, Patrick can play forward, right? Like Patrick can just play forward. Like Patrick can just kill here too, even without rend. But he just, I guess he thinks he has rend. Q is good here though. Holy, looking at it again, everyone just griefed. Everyone just griefed. But yeah, needless to say, the game is pretty fucking done now. Like, you're 4-0 down, and this is your comp. It's rough. It's very rough. Like, the fact that he didn't get his rend because of the LSAE. Holy shit. Really like here, look at Caps' read. Like, Caps knows because Trundle is helping out with Rift. He's just sacking mid-wave and going straight into bot because the enemy is stacking a wave. Really good read. A really good read. Game winning read. Yeah, it's like basically, it's like the issue, right? It's like you already have Maokai showing, right? But if you pick something, let's say you pick Annie, right? Let's say you pick Annie instead of Azir. This is a little bit more in rhythm and in flow with how Kalista Alistar wants to play, you know? And this is just game over, honestly. Like if this bot dive doesn't work and you get Dove top and you lose Herald for it, it's just the game is honestly over. It's like we can move on to game 2. Game number 2. Yeah, this one was unique, right? Because it's like here the big difference is that XL chose to ban Kalista instead of LB, so they leave LB open because you can see their idea here, right? It's like they're gonna go Maokai Kai'Sa, and then their idea was to play Tristana into Jace, or play Tristana into LB if it gets picked. And if nothing gets picked, they pick Jace. This is kind of Exodia in my mind, like, this just is a bit too good. I feel like the composition becomes so streamlined and easy to play. This is a bit too much, right? It's like, there's no Jace denial, there's no idea. It's like Braum Kog'Maw in isolation, I think is perfectly fine against Kai'Sa. And I think that's like a good rotation to make. Really, really good rotation to make. But when you add the layer of Maokai and Jace, I think that the read here and the prior on Rel was a bit too much, right? I think that the change up that happened later, right, where they choose to first pick Maokai, I think changes things a lot, right? It changed so much, but they choose to ban Rel. I think coming into this series, their read on Limit was that, oh, we're just gonna make sure that he doesn't play Rel. We're super, super happy. But honestly, I think Limit Alistar is up there in terms of like Limit classics, you know? And he brought it back to the table, you know? Limit Alistar was really, really good, and you picking Rel is going to open up for that Alistar to be played, right? So here in this spot, right, it's like you could just choose not to ban Poppy and then pick Maokai, right? And then if the enemy team, if you ban Rel here and you leave Poppy open, you can pick Maokai over Sejuani exactly like they did here in this game, right? They just ban Rel themselves, and then in the context of both Maokai and Sejuani being played, Poppy is a lot less relevant. But it was also strange to me when I look at this game 5, right, that the only time they chose to play Jax was the only game they didn't ban Poppy, right? On blue, I mean, right? So this part was kind of strange. So Rumble, Rakan, Poppy, Kalista instead of LeBlanc, and then they want to match mid on 3. So here X's idea, even Maokai Kai'Sa already makes the comp good, right? Because they can choose to send Kai'Sa mid into LB, they pick Tristana into this. That's why Maokai is so flexible here on red, when you have the option of going either Tristana or Jace. Or even if you pick Maokai yourself, enemy goes Kai'Sa Rel, that could be an example, right? Something that should happen and teams should do more, I think, is that they should consider playing Varus themselves here in 1, 2, 3. I feel like Varus lane phase is super strong, but maybe I'm brainwashed by watching LPL teams, because like top esports do super well with it as an example, you know. Varus is looking super strong. But once again, Braum Kog'Maw in isolation against Kai'Sa, I think is really good. But if you're playing Braum Kog against Jace, Maokai, Kai'Sa, it is a completely different game. Kai'Sa lane matchup is not easy against Kog'Maw. I just want to make that clear. So they go Rel, enemy goes Maokai, Kai'Sa, Jace, Kog'Maw, Braum. Already, right, Jace, Kai'Sa, Maokai, they already have like a game idea in mind at how they should play it, and they should just, you know, they take a slow ride, they take it easy. Nico gets banned, and then LB gets banned. Azir Nautilus gets removed. I am surprised by the Nautilus ban. I think it's kind of weird. I think Alistar ban is definitely better than Nautilus. I think Nautilus has less counterplay in this game, and Alistar into Braum was something that was perfectly playable in the past and people were happy with it, right? I think Alistar probably would have been the more accurate ban over Nautilus. After the Nico ban, they just banned Azir, but I think they only ban Azir because maybe they considered that Jace Flex would happen again. But all in all, I think Azir wouldn't do much in this comp, so maybe you can even go so far to ban Alistar Nautilus as well, right? Because I think if enemy team is Kai'Sa, Jace, Maokai, Azir, I think this comp is just trash. Very AP heavy, and they all are weak against the same thing, right? G2, follow up with Renekton and then Lucian on 5. Lucian into Jace I think is perfectly fine, but if you make mistakes with Lucian, you are solo losing the game. A very volatile pick. A Renekton blind, perfectly fine on blue side, and the enemy goes for Gnar. Here, I would have to say that the red side should be favored. It all comes down to how early plays out, because the early lanes are quite strong, right? Lucian into Jace should be a strong lane. Kog'Maw into Braum, Kog'Maw Braum into Kai'Sa should be a strong lane. Enemy has Alistar support as well. And then Renekton into Gnar I think is kind of 50-50, where Gnar scales into the matchup and begins to win. Let's take a look at the game. I barely remember what happened this one.
Gonna be able to sneak this away. And the peaches are.
Look at that. Bro, how long does E give vision, by the way? Like, Maokai Sapling gives vision forever. He just queued it through the wall into Smite. How long does this guy get vision?
Oh, Peach gets it with the Bramble Smash across the wall alongside the Smite.
Pretty cold maneuver. I like, obviously this is a disaster for Yike, because he's super far behind and investing time into this. And he's just practically leashed. Like, this is the fastest Maokai clear you've ever seen, right? Because Red is leashed for him. But what a fucking cold move, by the way. Cold move.
The Pheromancy mount up will still give you that flick back. That little mini cinch.
Peach crossing, and Brage flashes away. Here comes Peach. And this is crucial, right? Crucial. It's like you should be understanding of the timing of Maokai, right? Like, Maokai could have done the same thing from top side. he could have done the same thing from bot side, right? It's like, considering Yike Hex Flash from Raptors, the odds are Maokai is gonna come from bot side. It's like, what are the odds of Maokai taking some turbo fucking path to try to dodge Rel? This is just Caps running it down. And additionally, he also loses flash. It's like they burned the flash of Abadage and they stayed very, very long to do so. This is a very big investment because Peach will control this game because he has such a tempo advantage, right? Keep in mind, Yike has done 3 camps. He's done 3 camps, has no flash. Even if they burn Abadage's flash here, I think the investment is so big it's no longer worth it. The only plus side to it is that Rel, to some degree, just because she stayed and have a top side, she gives information to the Lucian. In this case, it's just this is so bad, right? Abadage gets a clean base because he just clears the wave, right? And then recalls, TP's back, and all is good.
And that's just, is that just a blind smash?
Just lucky, isn't it? Yeah. Very nice from Peach there.
And then we see the mid lane gank Peach coming.
Wait.
Into the brambles.
Wait, what?
What's his blue side? Peach can just get his.
No, I think Yike is way better for G2 than Yanko's it would be. Yike is a player that gives G2 a lot of teeth.
I believe into the bram.
He smites, so this is just, I don't know, I don't understand. He does use smite.
Full smash.
Yep.
No clue.
Just a blind smash.
That just looks weird.
XL. And we see Peach taking a recall on this bot side.
Look how far behind on tempo Yike is, man. It's just, did his blue and his grumpy, and Peach is going for his spawn. I can't believe this worked. This is a Maokai that's on vision, guys. This is just a dry gank. Rel is legit coming back in the game because Maokai is wasting his tempo here to sit in Tribush. And G2's bot lane uses 4 summoners and they die. It's atrocious. They could have made this wave really hard to crash for the enemy. They could have really snowballed this, and Rel would have make such a big comeback here. And Abadage is getting dove. I don't know what happened mid, but Abadage is 0 HP. So like Caps is completely fisting him.
To get their second kill of the game.
Oh, G2, that is unacceptable, isn't it? There's
And this is where Abadage, this of course where Lucian goes between 2 turrets. I kinda get it. I'm not gonna lie, I kinda get it. But the issue with what Caps did is, like, he needs to... It's like, here, if you look at how this plays out, okay? They're just not showing it in time. Imagine he Qs, okay? He Qs right now. Qs, auto, E. Caps 100% tilted from what his bot just did. Yeah, guys, I know you're playing in your solo queue and you feel justified in your own inting, but I can assure you there's no pro players that think like that. But Caps can play this better. Caps can queue and then he can just E here. You know, it's like Caps inted here, right? No, guys, it's plain and simple. This play is good. He just misplays. Because my man is walking through. There has to be some subconscious thing going on. Nah, mate. Like, listen to me when I say that you're full of bollocks, okay? He can queue here. It's just a good play. That's it. It's a good play that he misplays. That's it.
More summoners involved. Abadage. Caps, is he gonna? They just walked past him.
It's like, imagine here, he queues first. Queues first.
He wants to run out of tower range before he uses his combo, but my man, you're running through.
Q's first, autos. E, auto, W is dead. Like, he can do so much.
Jace just free hitting you to run out.
This is like Abadag is so fucked here, by the way. Abadag is completely fucked. It's like, let's take a step back, okay? Somehow, I don't know how this happens, okay?
Yep. And that's just... Is that just a blind smash?
But right now, you see this here in the pip, okay? In the pip. I don't know what happened to Jace. How can Jace lose all HP? All HP, 2 potions. I don't know what happened to him. What happened to him? Luke? What happened? What did he do? What did he do mid? I'm genuinely curious. What did he do mid? He TP'd back with full HP, refillable. What happened mid? He DC'd or what? What happened mid? What happened? I don't know what Abdagi did. I don't know. I really don't know. What the fuck? How could he? Bro lost 800 HP. He had no flash. He flashed Rel Hex Flash.
Oh, G2, that is unacceptable, isn't it? There's a Maokai recalling in Tribush. You just gave them a kill and lost 4.
But it's so sad. Honestly, if G2 bot lane don't die here, if G2 bot lane don't die here, if G2 bot lane don't die here, and Caps doesn't misplay this, the game is completely fucking different. Holy shit. Oh my god.
G2, what are you doing? What is that such a Caps moment? I mean, I get it. He wants to run out of tower range before he uses his combo, but my man, you're running.
It's like, he kills Jace. He kills Jace. He has 30 CS lead. He bases. The wave bounces. Lucian's level 6. He can dash on him and just fucking fist him. It's like, at that point, it's like this Jace will base and buy nothing, by the way. Like, he will buy maximum a longsword. And if you're at any point playing Lucian against Jace and you can dash on Jace and he has to hammer form and he hammer forms and you still win, it's done. It's done. You just hold your R for after he is and you just fist fight him to death. It's done. Yeah, they could die for a solid 3 minutes. It's all good. They don't even get Herald? They don't even get Herald. I forgot they didn't get Herald. Oh my god. This is actually such a bad game. It's insane. It's insane how bad this game is actually. Oh my god. It's actually crazy how bad this game is. Here, G2. Here what Yike and BB do wrong. They don't pull the Drake towards Pixel. Right? If you pull the Drake towards Pixel, then Lucian can connect. But the fact that they pull it towards the Gnar side lets Gnar connect. Like here, just pull it out toward a simple rule, guys. Simple rule for all you guys out there. If you as a jungler contest an objective through a specific side, pull the objective to the opposite side. So your theoretical weak side, not weak, like weak side is such a stupid word, but the person who doesn't get pressure from his team to connect can connect. Because if they pull this into Pixel, then Lucian can walk like this and he can connect with the Pixel. And then you are 3v2. And then this guy that is Gnar needs to fucking walk from Zimbabwe, who is disconnected. You make the guy who's disconnected from the enemy team isolated, pull to the objective or other side. Here Lucian is like, okay, should I face check and die to Maokai? Should I suicide on the wave to fight against Jace so he can't join my team? Or what should I do?
Wave to them, but now Peach has found a way into this top side, and
Abba moving first from mid as well. Looks like it. Yike might look for the steal, can't quite get it. Broken Blade going for Odo. Yamato the first to move from the mid lane as the Nature Scars comes down from Peach. They're chasing onto Odo. He gets the mega just in time.
Oof.
And Odo takes
Oof. Kaiser has to get away with murder. Okay, let's see the continuation. Because the game is not completely over yet, but Like the main issue is, it's like red side has gotten through every aspect of the game ahead where it should have been hard. So it's like, in some sense, it is over, you know? It's like, Rel didn't get any value from her early flashes or early plays. Lucian is 1.6k gold behind against Jace. That's like FF. Renekton is ahead, but this matchup either way will start becoming hard now. And then Kai'Sa, Alistar are even. So even though it's like playable, red side is giga far ahead. This is also big. Cancels the Q. What did I just read? It's so unlucky. If they kill Abadagi, it's a pretty decent play, honestly. Because they can still get out. I think it's a smart play. But yeah, now it's really GG. They have no TPs, no juice. Items are falling flat. Now it's like completely lost. We can move on to game 3, I think. Game 3. So G2 switched up, right? We already talked about the switch up. Rel is banned, and the enemy follows through with the same, and they first pick Maokai and they stick to the Kog'Maw Braum into Kai'Sa. The additional reason why Kog'Maw Braum is good into Kai'Sa, right, is because you know that they want to play a melee support with it. And the follow through here, right? Kog'Maw Braum gets locked in, enemy picks Jace on 3, the enemy team doesn't have Maokai. And I don't think Sejuani Jace have the same level of synergy that Maokai has, right? They ban LeBlanc Nico, Azir is out too, and they pick Nautilus. But I don't understand here, really. I'm not sure if we touched on it, but what makes Kog powerful in these comps meta? I think it's just a good lane to get with Braum, and it lanes well into Kai'Sa. And that's it. He just lanes well into Kai'Sa. I think this is like the most important thing. I didn't understand really why they chose to... Why did they choose to go with Nautilus? I really don't understand. Why did they choose to go with Nautilus after the Alistar has done so good? It's strange, right? Because it's like G2, Kog'Maw Braum, they go for, right? So they go Kog'Maw Braum. In this game, somehow, like it's so absurd, right? Looking at these drafts, it's like somehow here. So they decide to split up Milieu Kog, and Kog'Maw doesn't get banned. They are just they are clenching their ass cheeks, hoping that they can play Kog. They're clenching their ass cheeks. I'm telling you, clenching their ass cheeks, and they get Jace too. This is mental to me. And then they reveal Jax for the first time. They revealed Jax for the first time in the series as well, which was also crazy. Why would they pick Jax here in this game over the Renekton that they picked in every other game? And why would they feel the need to pick Jax here to reveal their hand? Because here, I thought they're just gonna pick Milieu Kog, because Braum is picked. And Kog is good into Braum. And then Milieu Kog is good. But here, Kog gets through, which is crazy to me. Nevertheless, let's go back to game 3. Narban is decent, you know. It's like Renekton had a good start, but removing now is perfectly fine. Okay. Playing Cannon with Sejuani Kai'Sa and Cannon in the current state, I'm not a super big fan. So Renekton and then Syndra gets picked into Jace. Okay, you have a very AP heavy comp for Syndra. There's been cases where they play this exact comp and they don't care. The no Kalista Pry after playing it in the last series. Well, Kalista was banned every game, right? So it does make sense that they didn't pick it. Alright, let's take a look at game 3. All in all, obviously this draft is quite improved. They have Braum, Kog into Kai'Sa, and they have Maokai. and I think that already improves it a lot. Denying Maokai away, and then the enemy having Cannon Nautilus, I think really XL's 4-5 here was very weak. Here I think that they were overthinking the existence of Braum, and I think they should have just found, I don't know, if you find a tank, like, it's weird, because even though the enemy team has Braum, I still think Ornn is the best pick. I still think so. Because, keep in mind like this, right? You're playing Jace Kaiser. You're going to be sending nukes towards the enemy, and Braum is going to want to eat them. If there's an Ornn on the enemy side, he's going to want to eat them less. You can't eat them all. If you rethink Ornn's purpose in a game, right? If Ornn ultimate is, if denying Braum a window of having E is impactful enough, then the Ornn ult can be in some worlds be considered good into Braum. Obviously, it isn't, because the Braum chooses if he E's or doesn't, right? But you get my point. It's like the level of Braum E being good against Ornn ult is definitely dependent on the rest of the composition. Do you get what I mean? If our team can get value out of Braum E'ing my ult in that moment, that can be enough. Obviously, if you're playing solo engage and Braum, his only job is to E your ult, then it's success, for sure. But I think here, if they went to, like, for example, Alistar and Ornn, I think would have been better for the comp. But maybe XL also, after this game, right, they recognized that their lane matchup was really fucking hard. Maybe this is the purpose, right? Could be as simple as that. Oh, we played Kaiser Alistar, they could have really fucked us. If they, and it's true, they could have fucked them. So maybe this is just a thought process. Because regardless of how Nautilus is against Braum later on in the game, Nautilus is still a much stronger laner than Alistar. So maybe this is just the reasoning, right? Maybe this is just the reasoning. But Cannon is rough because Braum has freedom of access to exhaust. The exhaust is pretty decent in this game, and you're playing against Maokai too, so finding flanks is hard. You know, I think it's tough. You know, I really liked XL's tech here though, to just pick Braum Varus. They just went full Jackie Love. You know, Braum is not counter to Nautilus in lane now. It's very AD dependent. Oh yes, I remember now. So it was a very silent game in the early, and Syndra got like a nice clean base. I remember, yeah, Odoamne was just getting Bobish murdered. Like, he was getting completely annihilated.
Forward up, flash forward from Broken Blade, and there's the damage.
Which is crazy. I don't know how this happens. We just get the camera pans over and Odoamne is taking a beating. Crazy. Like, you pick Cannon on 5 and you die to give pickaxe base, like, that's crazy. It's weird because, like, Yike is really good, but I feel like overall he plays pretty damn good because he's mechanically really fucking good. But then he has some moments where he just fucking plays bad. I don't know if that describes it well, but I feel like for the majority of time he plays really good, but he makes some crucial mistakes. And I think that was true as well in winter as well, right? But it's like the overall level that Yike plays on makes me hopeful for Yike. This is a player that can be really, really fucking good, you know?
Broken Blade has a TP to match, Limit lands the hook, but Hansama starts to open up dead shot.
I think Peach played good game 2. That I can say so far.
Forward. Yike, Mickey, and Hansama spotted. There's the TP. Odo going in. Broken Blade has a TP to match. Limit lands the hook, but Hansama starts to open up. Death charge on him as well as Killer Instinct gets onto the backline. Odo there. Slicing mouse of Hansama flashes away, trying to take down Patrick before he goes down.
Hansama did so much before he died, actually.
Juicy here for XL. Just question.
Hansama did so much.
All the saplings are going to slow as XO try and walk forward. Yike, Mickey, and Hansama spotted. There's the TP. Odo going in. Broken Blade has
I think if they spotted the TP earlier, they would kite into here.
TP to match. Limit lands the hook, but Hansama starts to open up. Death charge on him as well as Killer Instinct gets onto the backline. Odo there.
I think Renekton also needed TP on the one of the minions that was actually fighting. It would have been better.
Slicing mouse of Hansama flashes away, trying to take down Patrick before he goes down himself, but he will fall. And now XL trying to do everything they
I was also surprised when I watched this live that Caps didn't TP, but it worked out pretty damn well.
2v2, Caps and Broken
I think if they noticed this TP earlier, it would have been better.
Peach, though, able to dash away.
But this is something that XL does well. They place wards behind the enemy on the waves that they push, and then on the bounce they look to TP. They do this every time. It's super common. Like every game they do this.
Assault, the stun just at the edge, slice and dice, Radiant Virtue, no more slows available to G.
Always when they push aggressively, they ward aggressively, and then they TP on the bounce.
Good play by XL there.
Void is calculated first. They changed that. In the past it wasn't like that.
Pushing in the top lane,
But it was a really long time ago. Like insanely long time ago.
and that's enough damage from G2, slicing Maelstrom coming out from Odo Omne, but he's so low already. With the push, Cannon remains for them. Both these inhibitor towers in mid and bot. One Hans, he's feeling himself, and now G2 look to slicing Maelstrom coming out from Odo Omne, but he's so low already. The living artillery stopwatched. Winter's bite, another living artillery. The root, the glacial fissure going down on him. Baron calls off. G2 no longer have those buffed up minions to help with the push, but Super's pushing in the top lane. Odo Omne forced away. Peach eating up the root, the glacial fissure going down on him, and that's enough damage from G2. Slicing Maelstrom coming out from Odo Omne, but he's so low already. The living artillery stopwatched. Winter's bite, another living artillery. Von Hansama finds the kill, and now G2 look to step forward, but yike. Up Patrick falling low, but he gets a shutdown, dodges away. The living artillery though.
Tower just yet. The Sejuani is up.
Summer.
Maybe they can end, you know? Jungle support versus mid AD. Or if you got your money on medic.
But there has to be just like this can be solved through math remorse. There's no feeling to it. It's like it just gets solved through math. The simple question is, are the base damages and the AP scalings of Kai'Sa strong enough to justify the pen? That's the only question. At the point where you buy Void. That's the only question. Most of the time though, in a lot of cases, additionally, right? Additionally, something that is important is like how much HP do they actually have? Because that matters too. Because that makes Liandry do more damage.
Limit going in, there's still a G on Hansama. 2v2, but Limit is already down. Peach now trying to defend against Caps and Hansama. He'll be able to distract them for long enough, but the Nexus towers have fallen. Odo now up, but Hansama just needs a second to open up on the base, and Odo can't buy enough time for his team. Hansama cleans up the kill on Odo. The living artillery won't be enough to kill Peach before Caps takes the Nexus, and G2 take a 2-1 lead.
That was like 2v2 arena at the end. Sejuani Northless versus Cog.
Yeah, of course, it gives CDR, which matters too. So you get 15 ability taste. This year G2 back on red. I think it was just kind of surprising. What are we debating, coach? Nah, we were just talking about like what information is necessary for you to decide if Liandry Kai'Sa is real in a game. And all I was saying is I'm not sure. I'm just saying that there is a lot of things that need to be taken into account when you consider buying Liandry's. Because it's a unique case of you buying Mythic very late. Alright, so they ban Braum, and they first pick Maokai. Trundle Kaiser. Rakan. Not sure why they ban Rakan here, because I thought the previous games they're banning Rakan to pick Braum. Before you get in the next game, could you answer this? I'm coaching a new team roster. I'm trying to explain attitude and ego is more important in the team environment than just straight macro. How do I explain this in more simple terms? I think if you don't know how to explain it, then probably you don't understand it yourself. So you should be careful about just talking just to say. Like, don't say things because they sound good. So really put your time and effort into actually thinking about what you are trying to convey. Here, I was surprised to see the Rakan ban over the Maokai ban, just because Braum was already out. So Maokai gets first pick, they pick Trundle. Pick Kaiser, Tristana, Nautilus. Here Tristana can be matched into Kaiser, and Nautilus is not the greatest into Trundle, but playable. Leona, classic answer into Nautilus. Kalista, LeBlanc, Nico, Chase gets banned. No, you can't skip, Paco. Next time you ask about game 5, I will just ignore you. But I give you this pass because I like you. Renekton. Then Zayanar. Yeah, it's tricky because the Tristana flex makes your bans really inaccurate. Because it's kind of weird that the enemy gets Zaya, which is a premium AD carry into Kaiser. Very premium. Insanely premium. Kanatun, don't talk shit to Baku. Anyhow. Trundle, Kaiser, Leona, Renekton, Zayanar. I'm just thinking if they should have picked Jace here on 3. That's like the improvement that I see, or picking mid on 3. Because both Nico and Jace are really big champions for them. And I think both do rather well. But then you have to consider what would you pick into North if enemy bans Leona. It's tricky. I don't think Maokai is bad into Trundle. Tibari, Koyoya. I don't think it's bad into Trundle. Yeah, I'm thinking here if just picking Kaiser Nautilus is the way. Just pick Kaiser Nautilus. Maybe it's best because Braum is already out, Rel is already out. Nautilus is the best support. So if they go Kaiser Nautilus match on 3, I think that's way better. I think they can find enough answers. They should just pick Nautilus away because the value of Nautilus is just so high when Braum is banned. Renekton, Ahri. You know, the tricky thing here is that Trundle, Leona, Renekton, Ahri, they all want to end the game on 2 items. And Kaiser doesn't really match that pacing so well, you know? Yeah, no, G2's draft is much harder to play because they need to snowball. And they don't have matchups that are so polarizing because I think Zaya Nautilus wins both. And I think that Tristana Maokai can contest 2v2 mid. So it's definitely super, super hard. I think what the earlier chatter said was correct. Like, I think Trundle taking up a space in the 1-2-3 is what makes them worse. Because if they took Kai'Sa, Nautilus 1-2 and then they match on 3, I think they win. They can drop jungle, there's no problem. They have Trundle, they have whatever the fuck. They can pick many champs into Maokai. And it would have been way better. Yeah, I don't get why Capster doesn't want to play LB. It's very, very weird. It's like G2's draft is a lot worse. But with the way the game played out, it's like Maokai was kind of running it down, right? They were pressuring. This dive bot was kind of disgusting.
Flash stun, Patrick cleanse, flashes away. He looks to try and escape, but he can't get away for the first blood. Mickey is going to fall to the ignite.
Means they can, but here comes the dive. Mickey's gonna tank.
Flash stun, Patrick cleanse, flashes away. He looks to try and escape, but he can't get away for the first blood. Mickey is going
Honestly, it's not terrible. It's not terrible. Kai'Sa mid is pretty fake, but it can be played into LB, I think. And LB is banned every game, so. You can play Kai'Sa mid against LB or mid laners you don't respect. So, those are your options.
He's gonna die in this dive no matter what, because what he's doing is Q flashing underneath the tower, so at level 3. So
nah, he's just spamming Aatrox because he got clapped by Aatrox and he thinks Riot is stupid for buffing Aatrox the way they did.
Yeah, that's 3 tower shots and an ignite, so he's down.
It's one of those sacrifices you always make, is the support can kill the enemy AD carry. The enemy support gets a kill, but the enemy AD carry loses a wave. And
Yeah, he didn't. They were playing the Kai'Sa, but Hans didn't go for a DMAT there either.
Yeah, you're right, you're right.
So maybe he prefers, I guess he has inspirations.
Yeah, I can't bring up the runes right now. If production can hear me, it would be great if we can see exactly what Hansama has gone for his secondary tree. I think it probably is going to be inspiration. He's got biscuits, so it must be, in fact.
Yeah, probably just boots and biscuits or something. Then biscuits. Matched and decide to try and trade onto Hansama instead, who has that refillable potion. TP reset, TP back up here. Does he have steel caps to his first item? Yes, he does. So he's very happy.
Yeah, you can see like this time the matchup plays out very differently, right? Because this time Odan is not playing against a double longsword Renekton.
We'll see how much effect caps can have on this Ahri. We saw VTO's Ahri yesterday. A huge amount of impact. Hate the fights.
From
oh yeah, you're right. That's 100% what
Yeah, BB does have TP advantage also, it's kind of a win.
It feels like it's a similar situation to the past few games where Yikes are level down. He's about to be level 5. But
It's advantage on both the base first because they had control after the kill and better items. Big Snowball out of the kill and big Mountain Drake. But it's like this, none of this Snowball would have occurred in a situation where they didn't find this dive on bot, right? Now Peach is of course ahead because he cleared camps while Trundle didn't. And he also got the top respawn of Crab, so he got 6 on a very early timer. Just tough here because it's weird because they don't actually manage to crash the wave. And I think that Trundle can actually not save them. I don't know what the solution is here. Because after this situation here, you do Drake. The dive was not criminal. I don't think the dive was criminal. The dive was fine, honestly.
Limit's gonna die to the Mickey. Zenith blade onto Limit. Flash charm going out as well. Limits can just try and flash away from this and will.
I think here, Caps just ulting for damage was a mistake. There is ulting for damage, but what's the point? Caps just kind of griefs here.
Limit's gonna die to the ignite as Mickey and Yike look for the chase onto Peach. A good pillar and the subjugate as well will make that tree pretty darn squishy right now. Even a Trundle and a Leona can work their way through him. Yike gets his first kill of the game.
G2 get the engage and they get themselves 2 kills. I think they were aiming for Abadaga with that charm flash, but everything landed onto Limits. Managed to tank everything up and hook back in to get the kill onto Caps initially, but Peach Nowhere to go. Ends up falling too. So YamatoCannon gets his base off and gets a kill. But at what cost? Because now G2 are going to get on towards this Herald. Let's watch Patrick move up this river. This might be a bit greedy from G2. You know, they have top push here. XL. Hansama's under tower.
Limits over.
Maybe I should do a top 4. I just do a tier list of all the players that are left in playoffs. That could be fun, no? I just do a tier list of all of the players left in playoffs. That's pretty base, no? I do that tomorrow.
But he resetting on his way.
This is really risky here.
Maybe they don't really have anywhere to go. They're going to try and collapse onto Odo, but he jumps across the wall.
Spent.
For Hans Summer.
You know, get the Tristana rolling with the Gnar at
away, but Odo setting on his way.
This is really risky here.
Maybe they don't really have anywhere to go. They're going to try and collapse onto Odo, but he jumps across the wall before the Snowball comes through. Dredge line being used as Broken Blade tries to dash away, but Odo Omne's building up that Mega Gnar.
This is such a throw.
Greedy from G2, you know, they have top push here. XL. Hansama's under tower.
Limits already resetting on his way.
This is really risky.
Damn, this is a terrible Herald. Holy shit, I hope Dylan fucking spanked the shit out of them for this. Damn, this is dirty.
To get the kill onto Caps initially, but Peach, nowhere to go.
This Herald only works if the enemy doesn't have vision and is silly for some reason.
Let's watch Patrick move up this river. This might be a bit greedy from G2, you know, they have top push here. XL. Hansama's under tower.
Limits already resetting on his way.
This is really risky here. Maybe.
But also here on Mickey's flash, where's the pillar? Where's the anything? Like, it's a good turn. Like, Mickey's smurfing here, but he gets kind of sold on eBay. Where's the pillar? Where is Renekton? Why was the pillar? Boom. Pillar, Renekton W, kill. Odoamne has tenacity in runes, by the way. It's so big here.
Dredge line being used as Broken Blade tries to dash away, but Odo Omne's building up that Mega Gnar. Mickey chased away. One more order would be enough. He's got no flash, and the boomerang finds his back.
Yeah, can he steal it? He doesn't have the smite upgrade, and Peach does, so there's no chance of getting this one. He will get his upgrade from the Herald dying, gets extra treats for his pet. But yeah, kill onto shots.
First item.
This already is a very tough position. Like, the draft gap is really heavy-handed.
We get a little bit of experience. Peach.
It's like, this Tristana has went full lane items. Ari can't pressure.
Zenith played for the root, but good buffer. Dredge line dodges the solar flare. Now the pillar and the subjugate will come out, but Limits
If I remember correctly, Peach just kind of runs it down here.
past that pillar. YamatoCannon roaming as well as Caps killer instinct coming in, and already look at how low Mickey is. Peach with the trade advance, the pillar sword coming out, and there's the double root.
This is also really unlucky for YamatoCannon, honestly. Like, YamatoCannon doesn't find the lethal on Hans.
Limit falls low. Hans Summer knocked up with the death charge. YamatoCannon can look to jump forward. The buster shot. Hans Summer escapes with a sliver. Sees his life flash before his eyes, and now YamatoCannon is looking to send him back to his grave. Hans Summer explosively.
And then refillable is broken, guys. Jacob!
He's alive! He escapes!
Refillable.
Bro, Kaiser's so dummy thick, man. I just noticed now. Is it just the IG skin, man? Look at that.
He's alive! He escapes!
Refillable potion for the win.
Flash trade there from the Tristana. Bit of a blunder from YamatoCannon, knocking away the Kaiser, not getting that kill on the damage. Odo trying to get some damage onto Broken Blade, who has the ultimate. Patrick's gonna have the bot push. Peach was dead and has Herald up. Yeah, he's gonna look for the 1v1 onto Patrick here. I think he definitely wins that. Mickey's on the way. He's gonna be able to get a plate here, I think, Patrick, but his jungle support's a little bit far away. Actually, he can kite up here if he sees a trundle come from below, but he's gonna have to run down now.
Flashes early. Zenith Blade chases him.
This is such a big kill, man.
Yeah.
Such a big kill. It's like, I understand why Patrick wants to hit, because he knows Kaiser's off tempo, right? And then he wards and doesn't take the pink, because he wants to hit platings. But Patrick gets so hard punished for his greed here, because he doesn't clear the pink. It's crazy. Because Patrick also uses both sounds, right? He should just die here. If he just dies, it's not a big deal. The issue here is he uses flash and cleanse. That is the problem.
Patrick to die a bit greedy to walk up for plates there.
If you just died,
Just wanted the one, but
it's okay.
sometimes
But
be aware of where
the fact that he played for plating here,
Patrick still 10
the
seconds
fact that he
away.
played for platings here, like basically has such a big tempo window. That's why he wants to hit. But his teammates are off tempo. And in a world where he clears the pink, he will lose a plate. Well, he will not lose a plate, but he won't get a plate. But the fact that they get this gank here and he doesn't clear the pink and Trundle hits the kill here, they get the second Drake. So somehow G2
Trundle takes his very quick
are outplaying and they are staying in a game where they shouldn't be staying in.
already, building up towards that first mythic. They can look to try the safety of the tower. The Rift Tower's going to charge in and start tanking this turret.
This was madness.
Plates falling, but the TP in from Kansas.
I can't believe
Mickey escapes to
the XL actually came out of this without anyone dying.
Plates falling, but the TP in from Kansas. He looks to join the fight. Odo tanking it. Rift Tower goes down. Nature's Glass.
Look at Kaiser, by the way. Look at Kaiser is hitting bot turret right now. She is farming juice.
Use it more as a disengage than anything else there.
She is just free farming and Trundle is gonna go mid.
G2 able to hold the line. They lose a couple of plates, but they don't lose.
She is crazy.
Patrick's gonna push in mid, get himself a plate. Maybe he can get
This play here that they do on Arya, I think top is kinda cheeky too.
Sana. He's walking up to the wave.
This play is very cheeky, I like this.
Limit has his normal flash.
This was a very nice play, I think, from Exo.
Flash forward, looking for the root.
Because same thing, Caps assumes they base, he wants to push because he has tempo advantage, but they just hit.
Taps those three spirit rushes.
Very similar to the bot situation.
He jumped the wall. Yike
It's also one of those things that is quite unlucky that G2 get Chemtech Drake roll.
right now either.
Because the only way to win this game is if this game is decided, like, in the next 10 minutes.
No flash on Obadiah, no flash on
But Chemtech Drake is not even decisive enough.
one caught out. On someone going in with the killer instinct. The solar flare is perfect as well.
Here I really don't like this, right,
Looking for hands, but he's on a blue orb.
from XL, because they are running in the wrong direction. They need to run towards Patrick, so he can save them. But they run away from him, so he can't save them.
Flash on Obadiah, no flash on Patrick. Peach, the first one caught out. On someone going in with the killer instinct. The solar flare is perfect as well. Double slow and
Okay. Thank you, Credu Sticks. Appreciate it.
the stun as Yike kills off Peach and XL can only retreat.
The Maokai just gets one shot through the Trundle, doesn't it? Such a power by them to lean towards this bot side to at least be able to trade something. That's what I'm
So this Odoamne was a big glow up here. Big glow up from Odoamne. He manages the matchup well. He got a free kill on Leona, and then all of a sudden, he's taking control of the site and Renekton's getting fisted,
Very tricky for Peach. First strike, demonic embrace. He is not tanky at all, and through the subjugate.
No first blood for Renekton, no dive pressure. Everything is very different.
on the one. Nautilus is for either side.
On TP, flash. He's there, instinct in. He's very low nature. Top. Now TP's himself.
5v5 around this dragon pit. Odoamne is catching bot wave and just proc the Mega Gnar. Peach, no flash.
Yeah, this is just disappointment, right? It's like Peach solo losing this game. Straight up just solo losing the game.
He's there, instinct in. He's very low nature's grasp coming out. And Peach, as you say, has gone timber. He's killed off TP in now, but Odoamne is going to be in the middle of the team. Doesn't get the stun with the nut already. It's double kill and XL. All hell, the retreat. They're running for the hills as G2 begin to collapse. Abadage still very healthy though, has the flash. Can look for a little bit more, but instead should just give up this Dragon Soul point over to G2.
It's another fight where Peach gets caught.
I don't think Peach smurfed at all versus... Was it SK?
But he's forced to TP in. Odoamne just kind of walk past
That was a pretty terrible series from Peach, I think. Peach just gets caught like every game. A couple of times. On Lee Sin was against Mad Lions. That is against Mad Lions.
Bot tower, but also with Abadage running top and Caps not having TP, unless Broken Blade TPing top, they should be able to answer back with a tower of their own. Abadage going up towards that top lane with the jump. You can see it on the minimap. They can push in mid with the Zaya as well. If Hansama shows here, they might get a kill, but they're going to lose a mid tower.
Odo no flash, charm goes wide. Yike with a good pillar though means that Odo has to take the long way round, and the long way round includes...
Odo was getting caught on side a lot this series too.
The mid tower goes over to...
But I think only G2 is a team that is good enough to find these punishes. Maybe Team Heretics could too. Honestly, maybe Fnatic could too.
Staying there to get that kill, getting
Like, although Amne died on side plenty, which obviously happened in game 5 too. Yeah, this was the biggest int moment, right? Okay, I don't know what this G2 setup is. Like, I don't know what Trundle is doing. I don't know what they are doing. They are faking that they're doing Nash, and then they're not faking that they're doing Nash. I don't know what's happening. I don't know what G2 is thinking here. I really don't get it. They are faking that they are doing Nash, but they are walking over Crab 50 times. And they end up doing nothing. They end up revealing Ahri position. They end up not defending Pixel. They end up doing nothing. I'm very confused. Their whole play gets denied by the fact that Crab exists. And even in a world where, let's say, their play was to hit Nash, I don't understand. This is just absurd. And then here, the follow-up is also strange. What's happening here on my screen? Because the pillar is pretty damn good. They get vision over the pillar. Why isn't Leona not ulting there? Why are they not fighting on this fucking pile of people that is here? When Xayah is isolated. This is not... Or do you press your buttons? Pillar gives vision over them, you know? I thought this looked good. But instead they are looking for Patrick. And that's just because they're looking for Patrick. Yak's position. I don't know. Patrick smurfed this, man.
He's already killed off one limit, dodging away as well as Patrick on the back line. It's being such a nuisance in the side. Patrick, great flashing to the roof. Patrick with a featherstorm, Kev trying to get away, but he's stunned up, he's locked out.
Very well done.
Shutdown goes over to Patrick, and what a superb fight it was from the XL80 carry, winning it through.
Check their way in, Patrick. It wasn't just that E-flash play. When you see the replay, look how much space he gives his team.
I don't think Mickey has been underrated.
2,000 gold. So we'll look at the space that Patrick buys. He actually is split off from his team.
If Elk did this play, we'd have 3 Reddit threads. What? Here, Patrick just ran it down. Obviously has ult on cooldown, nothing to posture for. G2 just had a tempo swing, so they're first in the area and then punished, right? These are the type of moments where you recognize G2 is the better team, right? Better than XL. Not overconfidence, just lack of awareness. It's like they zone out of the game after the Nash. Because look here, after Nash is done, G2 sprinted first into enemy jungle. And they were here. And they just weren't aware of this. Alex Goes, if you said like, oh, if a T1 player did this, then it would be front page Reddit, I would understand that. How do you manage the random tempo swings on a hit? Well, the main thing is that you need to wait for the next midwave. And then either you play through the midwave, or you ignore that midwave, and then you start clearing your own jungle together. That is the most important thing, because you are inherently stronger. That is the most important thing. But sometimes the enemy being first in your jungle makes them better because you face check into them. So then you just play on the midwave. And as you play on the midwave, you need to be aware of the angles. This is a particular moment where they are in fact much weaker than them, right? So G2 really want to fight. Because right now Xayah doesn't have ult, doesn't have cleanse. So they really want to fight. So in this window where you're weaker, you don't necessarily have great ways to push the enemy out. But if the enemy doesn't hit the neutral wave or mid, then they are not progressing the game. So you just have to wait for someone to hit that wave mid. And when they hit the mid wave, then you outnumber in your own jungle, right? Otherwise, you just let the neutral wave be even. And you just wait, because you're weaker. You use your blue trinkets, you use your spells in the bushes, you check, right? You try to spot the enemy, and then leverage that information to something. Because if the team that is stronger is not hitting waves, they're not progressing the game. Now you can't contest it anymore. This position is just too shit. You have G2 players that need to break through a choke point, and Caps is being isolated by Abelage. Mickey is fucking eating in on an auto-lose. Caps is losing 1v1, forced to ult. Mickey lost all of his HP.
To get back into this fight, the Dragon down to 7,000 HP as Caps has worked his way all the way back towards the bottom side, but Vasco for Broken Blade a possibility. Patrick still alive on the backline. Broken Blade goes in. The Dragon secured already by Exile. Broken Blade. It's just met death straight in his face as the subjugate has been used by Yike, but the chase is on.
Dragon Soul take it away.
Objectives 2 minutes now on the next Baron. 3.5 items on Patrick and 2.5 on Abadaga.
Yeah, Patrick going for the QSS.
No, I don't think so.
Saying, well,
Baku.
QSS will be handy even if I've got cleanse up because
I think you're just being in mega and holding R for when Trundle and Renekton and Leona do anything is way better than being mini. Because when you're mini, you're just a target and the damage you do is completely pointless.
Caps here, but Caps needs to use the charm on the minions if he wants to jump in. Otherwise, he's just going to get charmed up and Everfrosted. Does Caps charm again? That might be what he's looking at. Yes, he does. Here he goes.
There he goes. Caps spear rushes immediately. The Everfrost coming out as well with the reset on the jump for Abadaga as he chases forward. The Buster shot.
Not again.
Not again.
Caps on
Nowhere.
He's just got
to collect experience by Eve though. For
control now, but which is ideally where you'd want to push them out. Hansama picking up that blue buff. Looks like they're going to go off, and I think they might just...
Yeah, it goes without saying that this game is extremely hard for G2. They're outskilled and they're behind.
Is the start, and there it is.
It's just a terrible game spot.
down to 8,000 HP. No vision in the pit right now, and that ward goes in. Yikes, depth charge. He's not going to be able to get forward. The Buster shot knocks him back. The next shot's coming out, and already they're trying to shut down the front line. Mickey's fallen. Cannot expect it from Hansama. The creme de la creme, it seems, as the AD carry falls to...
Alright, game number 5. Game number 5, G2 went to blue, they banned Rel, they followed up with Maokai ban, Sejuani, and then the tech here that Excel did was Braum Varus. They slammed Braum Varus. Here Braum Varus secures them against Kalista lanes, because Varus is pretty good against Kalista. I think Braum Varus should be able to lane against Kalista well, and then Poppy is open, right? So Poppy is open, which makes Kalista a lot worse. If the enemy picks Kalista, they are fucked. Here I think G2 took a massive risk that they will never get away with again. They drop Kog. I think Kog should get banned here every time. Right? Maybe I'm being a hindsight Andy, but let's be honest, like they played a lot of fucking Kog'Maw this season. I don't think Ashe and Emilio would bang the same way. Emilio Kog, I think they should have picked it. I think they can get Jax 4-5 in a lot of games. And then additionally, right? No, Ashe Emilio is just a combo, right? And then they ban Nico. I don't think Nico ban is necessarily troll, but to some degree, yes, it is, right? Because if it was other teams, I would say, yo, Nico Sejuani, it's very rare that you want to play that together. But I think Kog'Maw, like for sure, if Excel is running back this game, they're gonna ban Kog here instead of Ashe. I can tell you that much. They went Trundle into Sejuani. Trundle is pretty weak into Jax, pretty weak into Emilio too. How do you VOD review when you have hindsight? Like to get the team's perspective, should you toggle vision off or on? Well, you don't need to toggle vision, you know what information is available. Like you pay attention to the game and then you know what information is available to a player as he's making a decision. Yasuo, Windwalls, Kaken. That's what we waited for. Nice. Yasuo, Diana, yes. They would pick Yasuo, Diana for 5. Like here, enemy would pick Diana on 4 and then Yasuo on 5 and they'd be like, shit, we can't play Kog'Maw. Yes. Brilliant. Okay. And then Jace. Kog'Maw Jace looks pretty optimal here. Kog'Maw Jace looks really, really good here. But it's so weird. It's like G2 decide in game 5, bro, I can play Jace too. And then it gets picked. That's just absurd to me. And I hope, and I really, really hope that if for some reason they pick Jace here, that they would run back the Lucian. I hope they didn't give up on the Lucian. I like the Lucian. Nevertheless, let's take a look at the game. Oh, who's that handsome man there?
But in this moment, in this clutch moment,
ability they have, I feel like they have nothing left to lose. If I'm thinking about the other teams that are watching this, Team Heretics, Fnatic, that have to face either one of these in the next round, I'm fucking scared.
There's no easy road, I feel, in the game, honestly, but also no idea who's gonna win this one. So let's send it over to the casters for the 5th game of our first best of 5 series in the playoffs. Take it away.
I think Yamato's pretty scared.
He's really freaking scared, isn't he, that man? Oof.
He's pretty relaxed though in that chair.
And maybe overly so. Ow. Okay, so then
They can pinch on some.
All right, let's have a sniff in this game, guys.
Playing weak side. Just down the cozy campfire. Catch that CS deficit that he.
Yeah, I think it's a fair point. It's like playing attack speed Varus. No one said anything to me, guys. It's like everyone. No one said anything to me at Riot. They said nothing. They said they didn't say anything because they understand. Yo, he didn't do it intentionally.
He's currently sitting in. Odo
Top is overall.
here with the cozy campfire as well. Abadage does have the flash and uses it to dash to safety.
Yeah, I'm coaching LPL tomorrow, of course.
G2 have so much vision on the but Yike actually came back down.
That's the wave.
I'm not sure if they have the damage for the kill.
No, the Shigenda is way too far.
He's really trying to bait him here, Caps. Trying to bait him to dash on him.
Knocks him up. There's the Emperor's Divide. Knock up though as Abadage trying
This
to get
is
away.
a pretty good setup.
Only level 4.
But I don't like that they're looking for this gank, right?
Trying to bait
It's like they already burned Abadage's flash. I don't like that Abadage is feeling secure because Trundle is here.
him to dash on him.
Knocks him up. There's the Emperor's Divide. Knock up though as Abadage trying to get away.
Bro, I got so good viewership for LPL when K-Rule is doing Euphoria. Wednesday is my day, man. Wednesday is truly my day.
But he can't escape. But they definitely have the damage, Kendrill.
Yeah, the block from Yike. He stopped Abadaga from being able to dash away. I thought he would be able to dash away before the stun lands, but yeah, really good block by Yike. First blood to the Sejuani.
Now works his way down towards this bottom side. Caps moving as well. Peach being very greedy here. Caps is going to flank him.
This was crazy. I couldn't believe that it's a game 5 and Peach is doing this. Or sometimes Peach is on the best crack in Berlin. Like, this to me is so crazy.
In melee form, Peach is going to get stunned very quickly. Tries to flash, gets across the wall, but Caps follows him. Caps can switch into range, and one auto is enough for Caps to get on.
And then
the
here,
board.
right, Cass is walking out. And he could walk out the other route, right? And it's fine. But here, Excel's bot lane uses all sums. Like, this I blame Yike. Because Caps doesn't want to fucking stay here. He gets convinced here for Yike. Can I take the Gromp? Can I take the Gromp? And Excel, you know, in the end, is 1-for-1. Caps plays is really fucking good. It's 1-for-1. And they use all sums.
The biggest winner, bot lane. Kind of dying there.
Mickey will
Regardless, here, finish him off.
support.
Great sequence though. Excel managed to secure Drake off the back end of that. And the secure Herald, which is a pretty decent deal. I just want to jump forward a little bit.
It's a third of PB's health.
Yeah, also, it's like you didn't pick Jax the whole series. You picked Jax, Poppy is open.
From closing the gap.
Let me check the Herald play though. I just want to check the Herald.
A lot of the damage coming down.
Is on his way as well. Peach no flash, remember.
BB has the weirdest Jax ever, bro. Like, he is always behind on CS, he doesn't have fucking items, but then he just fucking swings his helicopter penis and he just stuns 4 people in every team fight. I don't get it. It's like, his Jax is a little mall fight.
All here spots him. There's the CC. Peach going to be locked up once they have the Glacial Prison to follow. If they needed the good knockback with the Keeper's Verdict, but Peach still locked up. Caps coming in as Odoamne joins the fight. Streamer shuffle back as Caps tries to escape. Yike now trading onto Odoamne. Broken Blade nowhere near the fight right now because he was yeeted by the Poppy, but Yike still able to secure the double kill. Abe gets one of us.
Badaga, despite falling behind a little bit in the early stages, is now even with Cap. So this all comes down to BB jumping onto Odo.
I think it's similar to other tank v tank matchups, but I think that Poppy scales good into the matchup. BB is always blind picking Jax. Well, this entire series he just picked Renekton every game. Did you watch game 4 Billy Billy vs Top Esports? Yeah, I did. I costume LPL, brother. There's just a little bit of a bot gap here in terms of items. Kog'Maw spikes so late because he buys Ginzo as very expensive and he also goes Berserk Grease for the sake of lane.
Odo's gonna let as many minions as he can for 50% HP, so it can help a little bit.
I don't think Jax is blind, Grimoires. Jax is like 50 eyes.
Whether that's dominant.
Because of taking the top tier 1, he has the...
I feel like if quite a few splits already off series.
Gauntlet, but 10th to finals is truly a shock.
DRX, isn't it?
Yeah, it's DRX.
Just domestically.
Now all we need is XL to go on and win Worlds.
These are the situations, right? These are the situations where pink wards are so broken. You know, you walk into fights like these without pinks, you can go fuck yourself.
You know, Odo went to the same high school as me. Oh, did he? No, but that would be a great story, wouldn't it?
Oh, Odo with a W there.
Counter-strike coming out. Odo is going to get stunned up. Look at how tanky that Poppy is right now. Limit now acting as the front.
Look at G2's patience here. This is good from G2. They are very, very patient, and they don't cross the do not cross line. They don't follow XL into Satan's asshole, even though it looks exciting to do so. G2's whole gameplay needs to revolve around Milio W and Kog'Maw W. When these champions don't have these abilities, they are 10% of their champs.
Online, CC coming out. XL will have to back away from the Dragon, and G2 find their prize. The Dragon XL available to XL, so they'll...
Additionally here, there's a crab, and G2 now, as they overpostured, they need to take it easy. Additionally, you could ask yourself here, G2, if they wanted to break through because Poppy is out, they keep Jax with them.
They'll crack the mid-tier 1.
The Kog'Maw damage is...
But I think ideally here, you kill the Drake together and then you collapse on these guys.
It's already shredding straight through. Abadagas are...
Because I don't understand this. They should just hit the Drake together and leave. But instead, they try to defend mid S3 and they completely lose their mind and lose position. Here, they hit Drake as 5, they kill it fast, re-enter mid, and it's okay.
Arrive now. Odoamne is TPing back in. They're gonna fight this here. XL, Odoamne.
Can he get there? Puts down the steadfast presence. Odo...
The Kog'Maw damage is already shredding straight through. Abadagas arrive now. Odoamne is TPing back in. They're gonna fight this here. XL,
Holy. If he does hit this blast cone, it is kind of game winning, for sure. He just Captain America's that fucking buckler. It's definitely game winning.
They're gonna send a daylight robbery and Yike tries to get into the pit. He manages to with the blast cone, but now have to jump out. So he's knocked into
What a fucking throw from G2.
Summer trying to get forward. Yike flashes over the wall. XL will get...
Goes in, gets chunked out. G2 have position. They retake control of mid. Herald. So this is just everyone's...
Yeah, I think Varus has to go lethality. Like, Varus not going lethality this game is really haram, I think.
And else is taking the L, or at least G2 are.
I saw where you're going with that. Though.
They get cancelled.
It's a little bit around the corner, but we got there in the end.
I think they get cancelled, Grimoires.
Gold's still even between the two teams, but as we said, XL 3 Drakes to the good. 2 items on Odoamne, just finished off.
Actually, I don't think it gets cancelled when Poppy hits it. Because when Poppy hits it, it counts as her CC.
Off that frozen fist. Building up towards second item on Patrick and Abadaga.
Yeah, you can't trade auto with fucking Kog'Maw ever, so...
Yeah, Sama's gonna need...
Just fucking send ours and...
Hurricane, maybe even something like a
hope Milio didn't get ult back up.
But right now, he's not gonna burn through him too quickly. G2 need time. And XL aren't going to give it to them, rather. 3 minutes on the Dragon. That's how much time they'll give them until the next fight begins. Hansama might get the Hurricane before...
Emilio is not that good into poke.
But Patrick's building a rage-based bundle, but what does that really mean against Trump? Patrick falls. If Patrick gets rage...
You also have Ozzy, right? So he's going to do DPS on any front line.
Was
incredible. Now picked up the... Alongside that crack.
Here, Hansama, I don't know.
But they still have a lot.
Crazy. Crazy, man. Will be some new voice of Yamato. I will do one with Bippo next week after LSC is finished. This week is a bit too busy.
The DPS to work with Hansama, you can see with the cozy campfire walk up. I think that's too far. Way too far.
I have sacrificed my own health a little bit too much to make sure that I cover every region. So I am bringing back my sleep schedule, and it's worth it.
Alongside that Kraken Slayer, Abadaga doesn't have the Nashers just yet. Still got a tall task ahead of them because they're even in gold, but they have got that soul point in 20 seconds it's spawning. Patrick picked up the Rage Blade. Alongside that Kraken Slayer, Abadaga doesn't have the Nashers just yet, but they still have a lot of DPS.
I'll be on LSC during the regionals.
Cozy campfire, walk up, I think that's too far. Patrick picked up the Rage Blade.
Trying to understand what Hansama sees here.
Have the Nashers just yet, but they still have a lot of DPS to work with. Hansama, you can see with the cozy campfire, walk up, I think that's too far.
Yeah, I don't get what he sees. I don't think there's anything there, man. But what a save from BB.
They still have a lot of DPS to work with. Hansama, you can see with the cozy campfire, walk up, I think that's too far. Patrick picked up the Rage Blade. Alongside that Kraken Slayer, Abadaga.
But it's like Abadaga doesn't need to do this shit. Abadaga is just kind of running it down. Look, Abadaga, where does he go? Abadaga went to Cotton Eye Joe, man. The thing is, I use all my free time to do shit at my apartment, you know?
He's going to put some damage across the wall here. Broken Blade looks like a huge counter strike by Patrick. Is left untouched. Abadaga has 200 health to work with. Peach flashes away.
I think Abadaga just straight up ran it down.
He's going to put some damage across the wall here. Broken Blade looks like
Abadaga just loses this whole situation. Imagine, okay? Imagine here, okay? Hansama. Alright, Hansama just lost Sams. He lost his whole life. And then imagine here, XSA, we have free Nash.
way too far forward. Cleanses, flashes Breath of Light to try and get him away. He's going to put some damage across the wall here. Broken Blade looks like
It's just...
a huge counter strike by Patrick. Is that the touch? Abadaga has
the thing is, it's like, this play is so bad, because first, he misplays. Then, it's just a stupid idea in the first place. And then, he fucks up his R on the jacks. Like, there's so many layers to how shit this play was. But it's okay.
Limit is huge there.
Limit is gonna have to reset too. TP's on the...
Bro, imagine in this moment, XL, they just chunked him. He has no sums. They secure Chemtech Soul, and then the game is done.
Top side, is this gonna be a Baron Rush from XL?
Yep. Low.
Oh, they have to back down.
G2 face check.
They don't have the Poppy knockback either. Peach is not even there yet. It's gonna get shredded slowly. Limit's gonna need to jump over the wall across the pit.
TP to the
Bro.
mid lane. Peach so low.
Blood. What is this? What is this setup here?
I don't know if they can, you know, they've got
Like,
Nashers
Peach
on
is
the
half.
2 items on the carries. I
Okay,
think they will
Peach
get it
is
down very
half.
quickly, but Broken Blade's gonna have the TP.
And Trundler's not even there yet.
Basically down.
G2 face check.
They don't have the Poppy knockback either. Peach is not even there yet. It's gonna get shredded slowly. Limit's gonna need to jump over the wall across the pit.
TP to the mid lane. Peach
Terrible
so low.
play.
Oh, they have to back off
It's
here.
not going to help them out at all. The knock up onto Yike though. With the pillar.
They just take over the Drake, no? Or take over the Nash?
Baron still aggro. Broken Blade looking.
Really? Why does G2 not do Nash? What the fuck? XL's position is so terrible. I thought they just keep hitting Nash here.
Of that flank, as you say, Peach needs to get to Krugs. King's Tribute, the passive will heal him up.
Yike is low. Yike is low from Nash.
Peach is not even there yet. It's gonna get shredded slowly. Limit's gonna need to jump over the
Yike
wall
is
across
legit
the
low
pit.
from Nash.
To the mid lane. Peach so low.
Look.
Oh, they have to back off.
Look how long he's tanking Nash.
Oh, the knock
Look how long he's tanking Nash, okay? Look.
with the pillar stops him in his tracks.
Look at him.
Baron still aggro. Broken Blade. Looking for that flank, as you say, Peach.
Before we...
Holy, this was... Honestly, Hansama griefed the whole game, and then Abadaga just managed to grief harder.
QSS. Troll.
No flashes on their carries. Poke damage from this chase right.
Tower 4. Price. They can flash. Start up the Baron. His recall was stopped, and he's probably pretty happy about that as TP comes in from Camps. XL once again calling G2 to the fight. Each on the Baron, 4,000. But XL start up the Baron.
Slowly push G2 further and further back, and then they can start Baron here, which I think they will.
I like this Nash start a lot. Like Kog'Maw's doing red while Jace is on bot. Really good Nash start. Really good punish on G2's play here. They took the mid wave deep. They crossed into Nash. Azir pushed top. Start Nash. Really good Nash start. Very principled.
TP comes in from Camps. XL once again calling G2 to the fight. Each on the Baron, 4,000 HP. On the Fisher coming out. Yike there as well. He landed onto Yike now immediately.
Really good poppy ult.
Turn all attention to the Baron. They get a counter strike out from Broken Blade.
Run.
For his entire team, they can flash the wall. Odo has it. Limit.
Really big.
To get the
XL have the bot lane to
spawning in 50 seconds, so that
it's Soul point. It's Soul again for
Campfire. He can do damage, but XL
Good management as well of the side wave. Waiting for the right information, waiting for people to show. I like this too.
One with the rest of the team. Abadage looking for it. Glacial Fitra hits the back line. Abadage can slide in. Hansama already down to half HP.
Boom.
Fight. Going forward.
Here, a very important, right? It's like the whole game is revolving around Kog'Maw W and Milieu W, right? So it's very important for Peach to always keep his pillar for when Milieu Ws. Like, he just needs to pillar the Kog whenever it happens. If he pre-pillars, it's a mistake. Like here, what is he pillar for?
The team Abadage looking for it. Glacial Fitra hits the back line. Abadage can slide in. Hansama already down to half HP.
Really good from BB. Like, insanely good from BB. But Hansama, he ran out of gas. Hansama ran completely out of gas. With no Milieu W and no W, there's no gas. He has no gas in the tank.
Team Abadage looking for it. Glacial Fitra hits the back line. Abadage can slide in. Hansama already down to half HP. Oh, BB, they gets him with the counter-strike limit low. Broken Blade has a flash away. Hands now. He's shut down by Abadage. XL now pushing forward. Odo looking for more. G2 trying to hail all on the retreat. Caps locked up with a pillar. Long range spear hits, but he's going to flash away at Peach. It's flashing forward for another.
Boom.
Abadage doing everything he can to carry
Yak saves the game here. So it's like G2. The only thing they need to play around is W of like, it's like 2020 Damwon had incredible individual players, incredible macro, but what made them different from everybody else, they rallied around the cooldowns of the most important people in the team. Watch Damwon 2020 play around Syndra. When Syndra has E, everyone of their players are posturing forward like they have the biggest testicles, and then when Syndra uses her E and doesn't get value, they posture back, they kite back, they wait. And in this game, it's all about Kog'Maw W, right? Kog'Maw W, Milieu W. Kog'Maw W and Milieu W was used, but then Jax flashes E forward when they don't have these abilities. So while BB does a good play, right, and he finds a good engage, it doesn't matter. They don't have the juice to fucking follow up on that. And also didn't catch Varus in that, but he would have cleanse anyway, right?
He's gonna try and cut the wave.
needs to cut the wave, otherwise XL can run the dragon.
XL get Chemtech Soul, which of course matters.
Dragon secured for XL, Chem Soul for them.
Yeah.
And for a moment now, hope rings eternal for XL. One team fight away from securing a spot in the finals for the first time in the Org's history. It was only last year that we were memeing about them never making playoffs, and now one step away from being top 2.
What a fight from XL. The front to back worked.
Because look here, Kog'Maw W, Milieu W up.
Broken Blade buys so much space with this flash E ultimate. Hansama's free hitting, but Abadage is hitting him as well. There's
Down.
no Braum to block the damage on Hans. And he steps up for kills, has the flash available, but that Azir is just melting through his health bar and does have enough range to fight back. The rest of G2 gets collapsed on, and it
break the base of try and just steal this with the smite. He does secure it, but 3 items on Abadar.
It would be ironic if they lost to Brom with Emax. That would be just the most beautiful thing if G2 lost to Brom Emax.
In the bot lane.
B for his respawn.
G2 collapse on his way as well. Before the
This play saved the whole game. When I was watching this, I think live, I was like, yo, can't even kill Poppy? Like, how is this really a play? Odoamne wanting to push a neutral wave here is really troll. It's a big throw. This throws the whole game. It's a really big throw. It's like, it's so bad on so many levels.
And next point of focus, Broken Blade. Waiting in the wings himself, setting up a little trap.
They have the TP of the ping, BB in the bush.
On his way, Yike on his way as well. Dodo, he's so smart, man. He realizes as soon as he sees the TP control ward coming down, looking for the knockback with the keeper's verdict. Odo will fall here. All of G2 collapse around him. They invest a lot, but there's not much on the rest of the map for XL. Up perhaps a mid lane as they push towards this inhibitor.
Odoamne should have TP for his respawn. XL will get a mid tier 3 off this, and maybe a top tier 2 if they move up
Here,
quickly.
Here, if XL is good, they can win fights 4v5. So keep in mind, they can predict the enemy's action very easily now. G2 need to do Nash in this window. They will lose the game otherwise. All you want to do with XL here is just park yourself here or park yourself here, and then when the enemy enters, just fire Varus ult, make the enemy burn cooldowns, chunk their HP, and kite backwards. Make them face check into the space they want to take. What happens instead? Look at the vision control they have on this top side. They can easily chunk any motherfucker that tries to enter. Anyone. There's no TP wards behind them, there's no flank, they have full information. But what do they do? What do they do?
So I think
they agreed.
They're fine with that. Odoamne lost the flash, which
so they take this turret.
For the next fight if he wants to try and look for a flash.
They need to wait here. Stay here. Stay here. Stay here. Stay here. Stay here.
Onto the Cogmore, and there's an option for it. Now that's gone.
Stay here. Stay here. Stay here.
Rush from XL.
Importantly, Cap's burnt TP as well, so Broken Blade the only one that can really play in that side lane now. Yike trying to step forward. XL 20 seconds still on Odo1. They don't get over eager.
Used by Mickey. Looks like they wanted to step up there.
G2 calling for it immediately. They know they have 10 seconds before Odo is back. That Rage Boss is back. 10,000 on the BAM and XL. A steal here could secure it. Going in. Peach low.
Look at Hans. Look at Hans.
Hans doing so much work as the mid falls down. So does Peach. And Hans Summer begins. Back 10,000 on the BAM and XL. A steal here could secure it.
Mickey. Looks like they wanted to step up there.
G2 calling for it immediately. They know they
At this point, I think you have to give it. At this point, you have to give it. You didn't do enough when they entered, you know? And I think you just give it. You base and you play a
10
lot.
seconds before Odo is back. That Rage Boss is back. 10,000 on the BAM and XL. A steal here could secure it. Going in. Peach low.
Look at Hans. Look at Hans.
Hans doing so much work as the mid falls down. So does Peach. And Hans Summer begins to open up. XL calling for the retreat, trying to get
hit down.
Now we get to this point in the game where people are overskilled. Because now maybe Kog'Maw is just too OP.
Dragon, everyone will collapse in. Actually, the Elder's not up yet.
Yeah, it shows up. It's a minute away or so.
Yeah.
Sorry that
got a bit faded by the top right.
Yeah. It's happened to us all.
Yeah. 50 seconds away. There's the Mikhails from Mick.
Win here, they make it to not only the finals of summer, but also the season finals. They would knock out Koi.
Is Jay's cleaver correct? I think Spirit Sojourn is pretty good, but it could be one of those things. It could be based. It could be related to his economy. It's not like Black Cleaver is bad. Just has good stats.
They would knock out Koi. Odo with the last laugh there. Sending his regards.
Big damage from Hans.
Odo already down to half HP. There's a BB position for BB. Wards from XL now denied. Another ward comes in. Baron, Dragon down to 1,000. Broken Blade.
BB again is just James Bond. Look at BB James Bond.
Odo already down to half HP. There's a flank position for BB. Wards from XL now denied. Another ward.
I think they just got griefed by their own blue trinket. Guys, if he got spotted by the blue trinket dies.
Comes in.
Basically, ever since they changed blue trinkets, you don't put them in bushes anymore. Don't put them in bushes anymore. They changed blue trinkets, it's better to just place them.
Baron, Dragon down to 1,000.
Oh my god. Limit put 2 wards here, so this ward disappeared. Oh shit.
Broken blade. He got behind them.
They have no ground shield either. They can step up here for a lot of damage. G2.
Broken blade comes in. With the cannon. Oh my god! And starting now, Hansama just begins to open up. Broken blade first of all. Hansama trying to get forward as well, but he just continues to rain hell down on XL. Elder now the top.
They're so low.
Can Peach steal?
It's a 4v5
steal. It's a 4v5 in favor of XL, but their health bars are telling.
They reset the dragon.
Story. The dragon resets. Hansama gets go. Limit falls, and now he steps forward, and Hansama just barks all over them. A triple for the Cogmore. Peach running.
Flawless team fighting.
Ach, Lethality Varus, my friends.
In this later stage of the game. And XL, can they hold on through this season? Broken blade, this is the 3rd time he's landed a massive stun with the ultimate. Watch Hans, just gonna stand there. Hits, constantly getting damage out. Tries to land the ultimates onto limit to finish him off.
Something pretty tricky. Miggy though. Oh, breath of light away from the chain of corruption was rooted for a second.
I thought this was a pretty cool play from XL.
Because right, it looks pretty impossible.
But they got spotted on this ward with Bromazon.
Somehow get onto Hansama. You still have the Guardian Angel to deal with, and then after that you have Caps and Broken Blade, and although they don't have the most damage in the world, it's still something pretty tricky. Miggy though, oh, breath of light away from the chain of corruption was rooted for a second there. Now G2 reacting.
They can collapse on
coming in from Caps, as you say, the collapse possible.
JDG versus JGG with this draft, who wins? Whew. JGG wins, yeah.
Here for G2 as they try and cut off the escape route. XL, 4 members retreating together here, but Caps is looking for the longest
honestly,
we've ever seen.
I think honestly it's kind of tough. I don't think it's pretty easy. I feel like red side is more EDG-esque, honestly. I think red side is just more EDG. I think red side is the way, guys.
And as soon as Hansama can begin to open together here, but Caps is looking for the longest flank we've ever seen. Guardian Angel, Broken Blade, jumps across the wall, Rachel Prism hits. And as soon as Hansama can begin to open up, you have to feel it's it for XL. Odo with the knockback, but only onto one, and Hansama continues just to walk forward and spit fire against XL. Peach hit with the living artillery, and the laser follows him.
And that's it. That's it, guys. To summarize, guys, just this series, I think it was rather sloppy. I don't think Caps played as bad as people made it out to be. I think Odo Amna had a very hard time. I think especially the Cannon game was really, really rough. I think that G2 definitely tanked a lot of losses by giving the Maokai, I think. The Maokai Jace Kaiser thing. I think Yike was playing very, very strange too in a lot of situations. I think G2 was very stiff as a team. They were very, very stiff. I think macro-wise, for the majority of time, I think that G2 was better. I think that XL as a team are very, very sharp on TP. I think very, very sharp on TP. And then additionally, I think that they were very, very good at understanding Nash positions. Like they really, really got a lot of advantages by forcing Nash when they need to force Nash. And I think that's really, really big. In the current meta, I think this is a very important characteristic. Abadagi lane phase is still a big problem. Peach getting caught. Like if Peach gets caught half as much, this series could have ended different. Like Peach gets caught so much. So much. And all in all, I think there is some low-hanging fruit that XL can fix. And I have a lot higher hopes for G2. I still think G2 is the strongest team in Europe. We also have to think about their position. Right? They are in the finals already. They get to watch the teams. And I think that considering how close some of these drafts are, where teams are playing out drafts that will only be seen once. For example, being able to drop Kog'Maw here after the mid lock-in. This is only happening once, because now everyone's aware of it. Or let's say such a situation. They're never going to play against Maokai, Kaza, Jace ever again. They don't want this, plain and simple, right? Even though I think this game definitely they could have won, there is ways where they can simplify things. You know, these adaptations, I think G2 being able to watch everybody else is going to be a big plus. But to summarize the series, I think G2 had poor read on what to play. I think Hansama on Kog managed to seal the deal, but it was also super sloppy. I think that Mickey played fucking good. I think Cass played decent, not as bad as people made it out to be. I think BB really showed up, like he created advantages through top out of nothing. And I think XL should deserve a lot of praise for what they managed to do. I think Peach had good moments, but he was getting caught so much. And I think Odo on the Cannon game struggled. I think the level 1 planning was very good from G2, you know, especially that second game where they got a kill. And that game was pretty rough. I think Odoana played good the Poppy game, played good the Gnar game. Then I think he had a... You know, this game was just hard for the conditions, you know, so it is what it is. But yeah, I wonder if G2 can restructure their draft to actually give Caps more priority, because I think G2 are picking, like they're basically picking jungle AD support 1 to 3 almost every game, right? Like if you look at their pattern, right? If we look at their pattern, 4 out of 5 games they picked full bot lane, and here there was the only reason or time they pivoted. If they can, I think if more jungle bans are forced, I think they can utilize dropping jungle and setting up Caps for success and letting them play LB and all that shit. I think could be really good for them.